Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreath. We're back to add the ribbon tails into our wreath. It's already nice and big. It's a little over 24 inches. In our last tutorial, we built this bow, which is nice and big and huge and rustic and all the good things that we were looking for. With this wreath, we attached our sign. I put 2 cable mounts on the back, and then I wired in this straight to the wreath frame. We have our different ribbons. I cut enough ribbon to do 2 wreaths because I'm going to do another one without this sign. But we have this really pretty rustic green, a red that's not like true red, it's actually a little bit darker. We have these snowflakes which match the sign perfectly, and then we also have these like pine branches with the red glitter holly berries. So we're going to be adding those in. We're going to be adding 2 ribbons into each tie and trying to get this done. So we are going to be doing these ribbons. One's 1.5 inch and the other is 2 inches. They're all wired, so we're just going to be switching them back and forth. We're going to do the green with the snow and then red with the holly berry ones. Just because I was thinking like I didn't want to have green, too much green and red. I just kind of want to switch it up. So we just kind of make it look like a little arc, and then we tie it. We don't open up the ties where our mesh is. We just tie it right in. I want to make sure that this is where our mesh is, and I'm just showing you this one right here. Just tie it a couple times and then bring those ribbons forward like this. We like the pine showing because we are going to be adding more pine to this wreath. Let me adjust this a little bit more this way. There you go. I know it's a little bit hard. These wreaths are bigger. My table is not growing, but these wreaths are, so I apologize if it's a little bit hard to see me add those in, but all I'm doing is I'm not undoing the pine tie at all. I'm just finding the one that has the mesh in it, and I'm just pushing that ribbon all the way down so it's nice and tight in there, giving it 2 or 3 twists of the pine tie, and then just turning it. So I know some people, I got a couple comments saying, you know, we can't actually see you putting the ribbon in. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying. My ribbon or my camera angle is not overhead, it's a little bit over to the side, and I am doing my best, but we're all just living normal lives over here. So we're just twisting it in. If you guys remember from our video with the mesh, we have 12 ties on the outside, and then we have 6 on the top layer, one of which is covered by the bow, so we're not going to be putting ribbon in that spot, but we are going to be putting ribbon underneath our sign, so we're going to have to do a little lifting up. But yes, these are all wired ribbons. These are cut to 12 inches. 12 inches long, just because I guess. You can cut them to 13 inches long, you can cut them to 12. It's totally up to you. I don't think it makes a huge difference on these big wreaths like this, but it's up to your preference. Yeah, sometimes I do 12, sometimes I do 13. I don't know, just depends on the day, I guess. But I really like the way that this is going to look. I think it's going to turn out so beautifully. The different shades of rustic green, the different snowy details. We're going to be adding pine in, and red matte holly berries, which is going to be so beautiful and accents that vintage or rustic look that we're going for. We're going to be adding in some ornaments that have woven texture in them, which is going to bring out more of that rustic look. You just kind of have to, you know, get the vibe of your wreath. You know, if you're gonna do, you know, vintage or rustic inspired, or I know if this was 4th of July, it would be called Americana, but I don't know if there's a technical term for the vintage Christmas look, but either way, I think this is going to look gorgeous. But what I was saying is that depending on what style you have, depends on what kind of embellishments you want to add in. So like this one here, you would not add in like glitter ornaments, right? Or glitter sprays. You could add in pine, which I'm going to be doing, or like balsam fir or different furs. With the holly berries that I'm going to be adding in, because they are in the sign, I'm going to be adding in matte holly berries, but I mean, technically you could do shiny ones if you wanted to. You could add some that have the bright red and the burgundy. That would be pretty too, like we did in our plaid one, that red and black Nomi plaid that we did. So yeah, I mean, you just want to read the room, right? You want to add in embellishments that make sense and tie together your theme. That's the whole point of making, you know, making this wreath and adding all the details in, is you want to make it look like it goes together, right? It's kind of like a story, you know, you want to keep that whole theme going, you know, the entire way through. So we're just putting it in, we're twisting it a couple times, and then just kind of making these look like a little bit of an arc, like that. Okay, we have another one right here. Again, you don't need to open up those pine ties. If the pine tie feels a little bit short, you can open it up, just untie it gently, and then put that ribbon in there and tie it down a few times. But yeah, we're gonna be adding our embellishments in with hot glue, and we're gonna be doing that on top of this ribbon, so it's gonna give us another layer of security. So I'm just making sure that when I'm getting ready to put my ribbon in, that I am finding the tie that tied in the mesh. Because we did only tie that tie one time with that mesh in, and if you don't choose that one when you put your ribbon in, then the mesh isn't super secure, and plus the ribbon isn't going to be spaced out properly. So yeah, we're just twisting a couple times, arc that ribbon out, and then find the next tie. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun to be able to have this wreath with our sign and our bow, and then make another one. I was thinking to make the other one on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath form, so it's a little bit smaller. It's kind of fun because like each wreath form, like different type, it looks a little different, right? So this one is 24 inches. The wreath ends up being about 26 inches across. The ones that are on the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath form, they are normally about 24 inches across. So it's kind of fun seeing, you know, all the different looks and that you can achieve, and how even though you use the same amount of materials, things can look totally different. So I like it. I'll have to take a picture holding both so that you guys can see. I'm just putting this one underneath the bow. I know that you most likely won't be able to see it, and it's not exactly under the bow, but I mean the wind does blow if this is placed outside, and I want to make sure that it looks nice and finished and not like I left anything out. It's all about purposeful details over here at Peekaboo Wreaths. You know, when I purchase something, or if I go to a craft show, I like knowing that there are purposeful details. Okay, so I'm finding this piece of mesh that's underneath this sign. Pulling that mesh up a little bit, finding where that mesh was tied in, and putting our ribbon underneath. We want to make sure that that ribbon is seen if possible. So this is going to go under here. Pull that. I know it's a little bit heighty. Just pull it nice and tight a couple times, and then see, you can still see the mesh peeping through. Is it peeping? I think it's peeking through. Peeking through is a technical term. You can see this is a metal sign, so it's reflecting my lights a little bit, but it's totally okay. It's like the spotlight. I know, we do have to use some lights down here to make sure that we capture our wreath and our wreath making properly, so you guys can see me. Okay, there we go. And I like it too that it lines up, so like this corner has 2 ribbons around it, and this corner has 2 ribbons around it. So it kind of balances out a little bit more with the symmetry. All right, let's see. We have another one right here, which I'm actually going to move over just a little bit, so that it is a little bit more not hiding behind the bow, because I want to make sure that I'm able to add in an embellishment right there. And if it's too close to underneath the bow, then we're not going to be able to see it. So here we go. I'm just going to add this last set of ribbon. And then we're going to be ready to start adding in our embellishments in our next video. So if you missed any of the videos so far in this series, this should be the third one. So make sure you go back through and click the playlist and see all the good stuff and all the good steps. So there we go. So where we're at so far. Pretty ribbons all the way around. This already measures about 24.5 inches. Nice and big. All right, thanks so much. I'll see you next time.